can you help explain why this device is a better mobile companion than just a laptop?
Yeah. So first, it's not intended to be a replacement for your laptop.
Okay.
It's intended to be an additional tool for business people to choose to use when it makes sense. So if you were to compare it to a laptop in terms of the overall experience, the first difference is it's instant on and instant off. There's no boot up process. There's no shutdown process. There's one button access to your email, and you're instantly there and synchronized with your smartphone. The product is easy to use, simple applications. It's always connected, right? So either through Wi-Fi or through your smartphone. Okay. So a number of differences that make it suited for some applications, and not all. The kind of people that it's designed around would be business people, more typically individuals than enterprise customers, although we think it'll find its way into enterprise. So think of business people who are out of the office more than half the time. They get a lot of email, they write a lot of email, maybe 50 or 100 emails a day. This is a way to stay in touch and stay current. So use patterns could be things like working from home. For most people, working from home is getting caught up in their email, opening attachments, making small edits to those attachments, passing them on, following up on links that may be in an email, and then shutting down and being done with it. Another pattern might be a short business trip where you know you have a heavy schedule, yet you still need to stay connected. Another pattern might be a conference like this, or all-day meetings where you've got a lot of things going on, yet you want to stay connected. You need to express yourself in some way that's longer than a 1 or 2 line email, and you can't wait to get back to the office to view an attachment. So it's not intended to be a replacement for a laptop. It's not for everyone. It's for business people who are out of the office and want to travel light.
And so, so if that's your target market, like what channels do you think you're going to be selling it through? Are you going to just sell it on the website? Do you think you're going to get this into like singular stores?
Yeah,
or
it'll grow over time. So we're going to launch the product through Palm.com, through our online store.
Sure.
It'll also be available in the Palm branded retail stores, so people can get their hands on it and get a sense of the experience and the look and feel versus just looking at images online. After that, we'll expand to regional retail distribution in the U.S., then national retail distribution, then international markets. Carriers are still a question mark for us, and we're open-minded about that. We want to talk with them.
Well, I imagine you're more open-minded than they are.
Well, remember, carriers sell a lot of accessories for their phones, and this is a product that will make the email experience better. Will help sell data plans. So they may have some interest in that, and we'll see.
Now, the way that this will connect up with Treo to get online, does it look like a computer using the Treo as a modem? I guess what I'm asking is, do you think that it will require a phone's modem plan from a carrier in order to work properly?
That probably varies by carrier, right? The Foleo itself is kind of independent of any particular network design or policy that they might have associated with that. So it's really linked to whatever you would expect on your Treo smartphone. So if you can get on the web on your Treo smartphone, you'll be able to get on the web using your Foleo.
And is there,
or of course via Wi-Fi. So there are 2 ways to go. One would be through your smartphone, the other would be just through a Wi-Fi connection.
Do you know what kind of networking the Bluetooth uses in order to get online? Does it make a dial-up connection? Is it like a personal area network like on Bluetooth 2.0? Are you aware how that goes?
I believe it's a done type of connection.
Well, actually, let's go back to talking about the market, the target market for this, because it's pretty expensive. It's what, $500 with a $100 rebate. Is that right?
$499. $499 after $100 introductory mail-in rebate.
Can you talk a little bit about? Well, first of all, what's driving the price up to seem it seems pretty high, and I mean, is that a price point that you're comfortable with, and do you think that that's going to limit the market? Because for $599, there's they're not as elegant or small, but there are laptops that will do as much as that seems to do.
Yeah. Well, again, we think it's a completely different type of product and experience from a laptop, not intended to be a replacement for. So $499 we think is a great price. We'd love it to be lower. We think with volume and with time we can drive cost out of the product and make it certainly lower priced. Part of the reason for starting slow and focusing on Palm.com is to keep the cost of selling low so that we can get aggressive in promoting the product early on. A $500 laptop is an interesting price point. Most people spend more than that by the time they actually configure it. And again, you still need to boot up. You need to shut down. You need to launch applications. You're not always connected unless you have access to a Wi-Fi hotspot.
Right.
And it's a little bit more complex experience, a different type of tool.
Okay. So I've been gauging the reaction on the internet so far, and it's pretty mixed. I mean, there's especially on our forums where we have a lot of activity. There's, I would say, about 20% of people are really excited and really seem to get it. Another, 30 or 40% kind of get what you're getting at. And when I looked at the larger internet, it seems like most people are saying, "Why do I need another device?"
Right.
Why can't I just use a laptop? And I guess my question is, when the iPhone came out, Ed Colligan said that PC people aren't going to get the mobile experience. You need mobile people to get the mobile experience. And so it seems like you guys have got something in your head about the mobile experience here with this new device that people don't seem to be getting. Yeah. And I'm wondering, is that frustrating? Like, how are you planning on getting the message out of what category this falls into and making people not think immediately, I don't get it. When you have a PDA, you get it. When you have a Treo right away, you get it. But people don't seem to be getting this.
Right. Yeah. So, we're 5 hours into it, so I think it still could be described as early days, and we'd like a little more time to get the story across. I think, we view this as an entirely new category, and whenever you see a new category, people always want to have some context in something that they understand today, right? And then they think about this new category in the context of something comparable. So it's not surprising that people want to compare it to a laptop because it looks kind of like a laptop.
Right.
And, that's the thing that we're all most familiar with. So it'll take some time, I think, to educate people on the product concept. But again, the way to think about it is it looks like a small laptop, but you can turn it off and on instantly. You have one button access to email. You are always connected either through your smartphone or Wi-Fi. The applications are super simple. It's light and portable, and the price is $499. Think of it as another tool. Now, there seems to be a trend towards more single-purpose devices or simple devices that are instant on, right? You could argue that many business people carry a laptop, they have a smartphone, they have an iPod, they have a digital camera, they may have other devices, and they don't carry all of those devices with them all the time, but depending on how they're planning their day or their week, they may choose some subset or all of those devices. This is just another tool, another option for people to choose from. And when you want to travel light, sometimes less is more. So it's an entirely new thing. It will take some time.
Right.
And the people who get their hands on it first and have a chance to experience the product will probably lead the way.
Okay. Let's see. Let's talk about the hardware. So, I mean, you said you don't want to talk about tech specs, but do you know what kind of processor it has? Can you talk about that? How much user available RAM it's got built in, and so on?
Yeah, we could talk about some of that, but not all of that. As the product gets closer to availability, when it is available, we'll disclose everything.
Right. Have you finalized the specifications for it yet, or is it still?
It's pretty much final.
Okay.
There are some things we want to keep confidential until the product is available for a variety of reasons. I can tell you that it has 256 megabytes of memory.
Okay.
About half of that is reserved for the operating system and applications use. The other half is for user data.
Okay.
That memory is expandable a number of different ways. One through compact flash, which would be built inside the bottom cover. There's also an SD slot on the side of the product. There's further USB port, which will allow you to add a jump drive or thumb drive
Sure.
to add additional memory. So there's a number of different ways to add substantial memory. In my use of the product in kind of a beta phase, I've never needed to add memory or think about it any more than I do on my Trio.
Right. And is it 802.11g, B, you know,
It's
for the
B.
Wi-Fi? It's B? Okay, gotcha.
And the reason for that decision was, in general, when you look through the product or the technology choices, we wanted to pick things that were low cost, were low power, were in the mainstream of where the industry is in terms of sourcing, that we could fit into this product and do our best to drive the cost down.
Okay.
And we didn't feel that B was any particular bottleneck. It's also compatible with most networks that are out there now.
Right. So okay, as long as we're in that vein of leaving stuff out, that's like the really hard thing about making a new device is not putting everything into it, but leaving that stuff out. So, why did you decide to leave a cell phone radio out, or a camera, or all sorts of touch screen, for example? Why didn't you make it more of a standalone device rather than something that seems to need the Trio nearby in order to
Right. Well, the design center and thought process was around this being a companion for your Trio smartphone. And when we look at the Trio, it's getting more and more powerful, more and more memory in the thing. In some ways, for many people, it's the only mobile computer that they have. What was really missing from it from time to time is the idea of a full-size keyboard and a display. So we're going to focus on that and focus primarily on email as an application. The other things center really around email. So even attachments, right? The compatibility with Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and even the PDF viewer is all built around the idea that those are common attachments in an email. Even the web browser is intended to allow you to click on links that may be embedded in an email. So we wanted to keep the center of the design simple and focused. So that was the main decision around all that. In terms of adding other things like a radio or a camera and that type of thing, at some point you begin to get a design that is so general purpose, then yes, it overlaps with a laptop, which was never our intent. It also adds cost, physical size, consumes battery, and there are some things which work fine on the Trio. So we thought the camera on the Trio is fine, the contact manager on the Trio is fine, being able to update your calendar works fine on the Trio. So we really just focused on the things that would add unique value.
Well,
Yep. No thanks. It does work without the Trio, right? So there are some things you can do. It doesn't absolutely require that you have a smartphone next to it.
Okay,
for
so
it to
what
be
works
useful.
without the Trio?
Right. So you can connect to the web using Wi-Fi. You can work on your email offline and synchronize later. You can open Word documents or create Word documents, Excel and PowerPoint. You can make PowerPoint presentations. So all of those things work fine, just standalone.
But without the Trio sitting next to it, it can't grab new email off over the Wi-Fi?
It can't grab new email from the Trio. However, if there's some web-based pop email that you want to access, you can do that. So for instance, from time to time I'll check my Yahoo email just using the browser.
Right. But I find it really curious that you haven't written more applications for it. Especially things like a calendar, the task lists. An instant messaging app I think would have been really popular. Maybe not Skype because it's not a multimedia device. But is it just that you're hoping that third-party developers are going to take that up right away, or was it a conscious decision not to include those things because you thought that it would interfere with the Trio, or what? Like, why not just a calendar list?
So first, it is an open platform for development. We will encourage third-party development. There'll be an SDK available at the time the product's available. We're already working with some developers. So, for instance, DataViz is the documents to go. Opera has developed the browser on this product. Of course, it supports VersaMail, and it supports our Winmo products with Outlook Mobile. So there's a number of third parties that we've worked with around the product. In terms of prioritizing these applications, we felt that the contact manager was fine on the Trio, and there wasn't a tremendous first top priority to have a bigger screen and keyboard for that. Same thing with the calendar. That said, some third parties may choose to do that, and as you write emails on Folio, it has full access to the contact list on your Treo, and third parties may take advantage of that. The type of applications that we would expect to see first would be support for additional phones that are not necessarily Treo smartphones.
Right.
We don't have any competitive juices flowing that would motivate us to lock out competitive products, so more power to them. Additional email programs, productivity apps, multimedia apps, games, a whole range of applications we would expect to be developed.
All right. Again, and so, but I guess I'm still, surprised that. Well, actually, let me ask you this: why are you guys announcing it now, or before it's available? Is the software that you're going to include on it finalized? Why don't you wait until the day it's available? You seem to have done a really good job keeping it under wraps up to that.
Yeah.
So what was it?
Why
it
now?
Conference or why?
Yeah, why now? So first of all, the product's pretty far along. We're close. We're very confident in the summer as a time frame for delivering the product. D is a real convenient event to launch a product like this, and it's an efficient place for us to do this. So we thought this was a good time to get it.
Okay.
And it also is not particularly cannibalistic in terms of impacting the sales of any current products. So we didn't need to worry about that.
Right.
We're not distributing the product through any particular carrier early on, so we didn't have any concerns around distribution and impact of that distribution. So it was, generally we'd like to wait until the product's available because we have a complex business that involves carriers and customers, but this is a brand new category, and so it's more flexibility on that. We're pretty close.
I'm going to cycle back now to sync it up with the phone that we talked about. We'll sync with any Treo, and think Windows Mobile pretty early on. Any Windows Mobile device it'll be able to talk to, communicate with. Does that require software to be installed on the phone?
So we'll publish a list of compatible phones as the product's available.
Okay.
Our priority is to focus on Treo phones first to be sure that, in fact, we can certify those as compatible. In some cases, new products will work as is with Folio. In other cases, it may require a maintenance release or some sort of update. Certainly, it's an integrated system that involves software on both sides. We are focusing on certifying our Windows Mobile products. In going through that process, we're pretty confident that many Windows Mobile products may work right out of the box, but we want to certify them as well.
Now, by out of the box, that means I can take it out of the box, turn on the Folio, and
just have it
they'll start talking to each other. Or do I need to go and download some file and install it on the phone, or does the Folio
need to make an update. It'll vary depending on the model and phone and carrier.
Right.
We'll have more details on that when the product's available, but it's our intent. If you look out longer term, it's our intent to make this compatible with as many smartphones as we can, both Palm products as well as competitive products.
Right. Now, some Palm products. Are you planning on going as far back as the Treo 650? Do you know that? How far back?
We haven't announced anything, but it's our.
It's your goal.
We'll let you know. So
right. Well, because my understanding is
scoping it.
The Palm OS is not able to talk to more than one Bluetooth device at a time. If you've got a Bluetooth headset going, you can't talk to a GPS at the same time, and so on. So, if the Folio is open and talking to a Palm OS Treo, is that the only thing that the Treo is going to be able to talk to? If that, or if you update the Treos to?
I don't know the answer to that question right now. We're not announcing it yet, but we'll have detailed information around compatibility as we get a little bit closer.
I think that'll be all right. I really appreciate you talking to me.
That's happened several